Super quick.
The brakes are also cold.
My man over here uses a windshield wiper as a hood prop. My man over here innovating. Alright, cool. So this is the boy God of Maliga. We're here, we're reviewing Victor's, what year is it again?
So this is the 2006 Civic EX. It is Civic not an EX. SI.
Okay, so it's not an SI. So I'm gonna try and get like a little bit of an explanation done here, because like we kind of rigged this whole audio situation, so we want to make sure we can get all the information down to it before we turn the car on, because it's pretty loud. So so basically it's an R18 Civic with a K20A swap with a Type R transmission. It's making about 252 to the wheels.
Yes.
And it revs to 9 grand.
It does rev to 9,000.
So this is like a deja vu moment of me driving the other FA5 that went to like 9,000 RPM. It's kind of like the same thing, except in a coupe body style. And it's much better. It's actually actual race car, if you haven't noticed already. All right, let's start her up. So yeah, she's pretty loud. I am nervous as hell. Yeah, your clutch is not bad at all.
No.
If you don't know who Victor is,
hi everybody.
He's I've known him for years now, and I've known him ever since the day he had this thing still as an R18, and
you can't really call it an R18.
You can't,
because it doesn't have one.
It doesn't have an R18. It has an SI subframe, so pretty much this is an SI. So it's got like the SI cluster and everything. It's crazy. And I drove this car not on camera when it still had the R18, still had full interior somewhat, and it was a pretty good handling car. And years later, here we are with fully stripped interior. I'm talking no floor mats, no carpet, no nothing. It's like straight up race car. And Victor here, he actually, like, he tracks this car. So like, how many tracks have you been to in the East Coast?
So I've been to Summit Point, I've taken this to VIR, I've been to Pocono, and I've been to New Jersey Motorsports Park. And those are the tracks I typically go to. Summit Point is by far the closest track. It's about an hour-and-a-half drive from where I live. And I was there 2 weeks ago, so this car does 1 minute 25 lap around Summit Point, which is on the faster side, but it could be faster.
So if you couldn't tell already, it's super loud in here. So
it's on the louder side.
I'm gonna do my best to try and speak up here, because like I said, this is kind of like a one-take sort of deal. But so far so good. The car still is drivable on the street, that is. I mean, it's barely street legal, let's be honest. But he's got a bolt-in cage and everything like that, full 6-point harnesses. It's a hell of a freaking car, man. It's like, if you take this thing to track, and I was talking to him earlier when we were driving down some back roads, he says that this car, and the way it is, it's like, you can't even reach its limit on the street. So for you to really like take it to its limit, you've got to take it to a track. You got to have some fun with it. And when I found out that he was going to put a K-Series motor in this thing, I told Victor, I said, whoa, this review is going to be taken to a whole nother level. So how long did it take you to build the motor, have everything put in, and good to go?
So I initially got the idea in October of last year. About this time last year, my friend hit me up and said, hey, I'm putting a K24 in my SI. Do you want to buy my old K20? And I was like, you know what? That sounds like a really dumb idea. Let's do it. So I bought the motor from him, and then I completely tore it apart, ordered brand new K20A internals from Honda of Japan. So there's nothing in the motor that is original to what it came with except the crankshaft. So it's got fresh bearings, fresh rods, pistons. It's got a ported head. It's got a ported RBC manifold. It's got drag cartel 2.2 cams with a Vtec valve train, oversized valves. It makes 252 horsepower and 159 foot-pounds of torque, and I regularly take it past 9,000 RPM.
Yeah, and then we're going to find out here shortly, hopefully, if I can take it to 9 grand. I was scared to take Joe's FA5 to 9 grand, and because that was just like, it sounds like you're hurting the motor, but these K-Series engines, they just take you, man. No
They're
problem.
very happy above 4,000 RPM. In fact, they're not happy below 3. They really don't like it.
And the Vtec crossover on this thing, let me tell you guys, it's ridiculous. Like, this thing is nuts. Like, you hit 5 grand, it's a definite noticeable change of tone and everything. And we're gonna find out that here shortly. So I kind of want to take this car onto the back roads, but unfortunately today it just didn't work out. But I did want to get my chance to get some behind the wheel time with the car. I felt like it'd be great for the channel because you have a lot of following, believe it or not.
I do. I wouldn't say a lot, but it's a decent amount.
A lot of the guys from the R18 community had followed his build all the way up until now, and it's crazy, like the progress that you see with, you know, your seat time combined with the build and everything like that. It's crazy. So I understand the support. Like, he came from, again, an R18 all the way up to a fully K-swapped Civic. Freedom here. I'll give her a little baby pull. Why not? Hold on.
Well, you can go higher than that.
Oh, I know I can, but it's just like, you know, it's so ignorant. For me to drive a 2.4 liter, which is pretty responsive, to driving this, and like the response was instant. Like, it's crazy. And I just picked up my SI again, and it's weird driving an NA car versus a turbo car. And this thing is much, much faster than mine. It's like you step on it, it will go. It's beyond what I expected. This thing is like Joe's car on a bunch of freaking steroids. And it handles like a dream. I could do that pull and be completely fine. Like, this is so confidence inspiring, it's not even funny. Most cars I get in, my Skyline included, you downshift and you start, you know, doing a nice little pull in it, and the car, like, you hear rattles, you hear like a bunch of other crap that you're just like, is the car gonna be okay? Is it gonna fall apart? Like, what's gonna happen? And this one is just like, it beelines, it's straight, it's dialed. The suspension setup, the tire setup, and everything it complements this car so well. I am not disappointed whatsoever. Man, you have a freaking, not a rocket ship per se, but you have a fun little car on your hands, dude. Like, and there's talks of you making this dedicated race car.
It's eventually going to be my dedicated trial car, but I still plan to keep it street registered, because why not? It's Maryland.
Yeah, that is true.
This will pass state inspection.
You're kidding me.
Not.
Oh my God, that's nuts.
Yeah.
But this thing, man, it's so dialed. Every little turn of the wheel, it'll just go. Like, it's amazing. Super smooth. The motor mounts, they're Hasports, right?
Yes, they're Hasports, so they're 78. They're the second softest you can buy.
And they're not harsh at all.
No.
The clutch is super easy. Like, man, this is why I love the Honda game. Things are simple, they're cheap, easy to build, you name it. So.
what it does on the street, but it comes into its own on a racetrack.
On a racetrack, oh my goodness. And look, guys, I'm gonna get back into autocrossing shortly, and one of these days we're gonna go to autocross, and then we're gonna switch cars, because I'm curious to see how well you do in my car, and how well I do in yours. Because that'll be fun.
No, that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. For him, because like, he knows, like, these Civics here, like, especially his, this is like miles ahead of my car, without a shadow of a doubt, right? He was already kicking my butt, like, with an R18 with maybe half the power I had.
About 50 less horsepower.
That's freaking crazy, man. And he was like kicking my butt like seconds. Like straight up seconds. Nuts. Something about NA Hondas that rev to the moon that tickles my fancy. Like, this is absolutely nuts. I love it. Absolutely love it. Victor, I know things didn't work out as planned, and we weren't able to get a lot of seat time in this car, but I do appreciate you giving me the opportunity to review this beast.
Oh yeah, man, anytime.
And listen, guys, when we get back into autocrossing later next season, you're gonna see a lot more of this car, like, without a doubt. Like, this is awesome. If you want to follow his build and check out the progress of this awesome track of a car, make sure you follow his Instagram. I'm gonna leave that up above your screen right now. Make sure you follow him, because this dude's got some things coming for it. But you say you're pretty much done, right, for the most part?
I'm pretty happy with where the car is right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really feel the need to do much more to it. Maybe some front aero will help the car a lot, but other than that, it's a really solid car, and I couldn't be happier with where it is now.
Yeah, this is awesome. The gears are short as hell, so like, it's quick right from the get-go, and you know, it's an awesome car, dude. This thing is one hell of a beast. So we're gonna simmer her down here, but this is pretty much where we're gonna end it. And guys, this has been your boy God of Maliga. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and on Twitter. That's gonna be down in the description below. This has been your boy God of Maliga, and I'm out. Peace. Calling. So, we're about to review this car. We're gonna go to the spot. This is a full-fledged race car, everybody. Like, I'm freaking harnessed in and everything. This is crazy. So, dude, we got a bunch of spandex wearing granola munchers today for no reason. Okay, this guy